Good afternoon. I'm Dana Tyler, CBS 2 update right now going on in Yaphank, Long Island. An update on a missing child and his father, been missing since yesterday. There are late developments. Let's listen in right now to the press conference.
Pertaining to a fire in an apartment in Brenton Woods Drive in Coram. We discovered the cause of the flames were due to 2 beds being set on fire. The department's arson unit made the determination that this was indeed arson. In the meantime, at approximately 4:30 p.m., Maria Basone, a concerned mother, notified the department's 5th precinct, citing her son was not dropped off at a predetermined location by the child's father as part of a visitation order per family court. While waiting for police to respond, she found out about the fire in Coram. When she arrived at the apartment, she was interviewed by arson detectives, and they quickly determined that this was a missing persons investigation, and they proceeded accordingly. The Suffolk County Police Department conducted a thorough search in an attempt to locate Mr. Lagorgo and his son. The department checked in with local relatives and friends and immediately contacted nearby police departments, including the NYPD and Nassau County Police Department. They made them aware of the matter and provided them with the necessary information. The department also alerted all individuals involved that Mr. Lagorgo could have a gun. At approximately 7:30 p.m., the NYPD was alerted. At approximately 7:30 p.m., the NYPD alerted us that a vehicle matching the description of what we provided entered New Jersey, at which time we notified New Jersey and Pennsylvania police of the missing vehicle. Throughout the night, the department was in contact with New Jersey police in an effort to locate this vehicle. An alert was also established through the National Crime Information Center, NCIC. At approximately 8:45 this morning, the Rockbridge County Sheriff's Office in Virginia located a suspicious vehicle in a residential area. They ran the license plate and were able to identify the vehicle as missing through the alerts that we issued. Shortly after, the authorities in Virginia contacted the Suffolk County Police Department to inform us that the missing vehicle was located with 2 deceased occupants inside that matched the description of Mr. Lagorgo and his son, Giovanni. The department is not able to comment on the cause of death at this time, and with that, we'll take any questions.
Why was the Amber Alert not issued?
So we followed protocol. We provided the necessary information and details to the state police, and at that time, they made the determination not to issue the Amber Alert.
Because they were not married, the couple, they had joint custody?
You would have to ask them on why that is.
Who advised you not to release an Amber Alert? Was it state?
The facts of the case go over to the New York State Police as per protocol, and a determination is made at that point.
So state police made the determination to not issue an Amber Alert?
Right. Protocols, they handle those issues.
New York State Police say they...
expand on why they did not think it was worth an Amber Alert?
I wouldn't comment on their determination factors.
New York State Police responded to our request regarding that. They said that they were notified between 8 and 8:30 p.m. about this case, and that a short time later is when they got information that the vehicle had crossed into New Jersey. It was no longer New York State. Can you comment on that?
So we can tell you that the NYPD alerted us to the crossing of the vehicle into New Jersey at approximately 7:30 p.m.
So does it sound like New York State is throwing the finger back at you and saying it's your fault for not letting them know earlier?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Do you believe an Amber Alert might have saved this youngster?
So we were able to enter this information into NCIC, which is a national database. That included the description of the vehicle, as well as the missing person, Giovanni, and another occupant, and the fact that he indeed was a missing person. So that is a national, I just want to be clear that that's a national alert system that goes out to all departments, and they had access to that.
It's also not, I mean, it's not an Amber Alert, which is what we're trying to get at here. When did you contact state police and notify them about this?
When do we talk to the state police?
We don't have the exact time that we contacted the state police, but that's something that we are looking into as to determine the exact timing of it. So.
State police say between 8 and 8:30. Does that sound
We were in contact with them several times. There were several phone calls back and forth. You know, we attempted to coordinate, we give them the information, and the determination was made by them not to issue the alert at that time. You really need to check with them on the reasons why.
Do you believe they erred in not issuing an Amber Alert? Do you think they should have?
You check with them.
Yeah.
I'm just asking your opinion.
You check with them.
Commissioner, did Suffolk follow the guidelines that were presented as far as Amber Alerts?
Absolutely.
The Amber Alert says specifically, because we looked it up, that it is up to the individual department. Usually it is a custodial, when it's a stranger abduction, when Amber Alerts are always issued. But there are cases where it is up to a department to make that decision and say, we think that this child is in trouble. Why was that not done?
Again, the protocol is that we are presented with facts in the investigation. We reach out to the New York State Police, we present those facts, and they make the determination whether it is going to fit the criteria for them to issue an Amber Alert.
Do you think that you contacted them in a timely fashion?
When we gathered the facts that were relevant to this investigation, we contacted them immediately.
By immediately, can we talk about, was that morning, afternoon, 8:30 would be evening,
It would be after the arson and the determination that this indeed was
I
a...
think it's important to note that the missing person investigation, we weren't aware that there was a potential for missing person until after 5:30 p.m.
Is there any evidence showing that, obviously, his car goes off and he goes over George Washington Bridge, but then he travels all the way to Virginia? Are there any other signs that he went through any easy pass locations at that point, and no other signals went off between George Washington and Virginia?
So that's currently under investigation.
Can you talk at all just about the background of this family and what transpired here?
So at this time, we are unable to. I can tell you that he did not have a criminal record. The father did not have a criminal record.
Were they in a divorce court, or they were in a custody fight over the youngster?
It seems that there was a custody arrangement in place, and that's what they were abiding by.
Neighbors told us there was a custody hearing actually scheduled for tomorrow, and that Mr. Lugurgo had lost his job 2 days prior. Can you confirm either of those?
We do believe that he was unemployed and he had lost his job.
Sometimes in missing persons cases, there's an alert issued to the media. Why was that not done in this case?
So there was an alert that went out yesterday to the news media when we determined that there was a missing individual, and we had the description of the child and the father in that alert.
Virginia, was there family members in Virginia? Why Virginia?
So that's still under investigation.
Based on what you knew, did you believe that he was a threat to the youngster, or was that something you weren't able to determine?
So we took all necessary actions to locate the father and the child, understanding that he was a missing child.
But the father had a gun. Did that concern you?
So that is part of the factors that we presented and that we had alerted our law enforcement partners to.
The family says that they were told to take down by police, to take down all of their Facebook posts related to trying to find this child, and were told to not speak to the media. Can you say why the police told them that?
I have no indication of that.
The car, it was found in the residential area. Was it just parked at the side of the road, or was it in a driveway or something?
So Virginia has the crime scene and the investigation on their end, and they'll comment as to that piece of it.
So there was no appearance that the police were approaching the vehicle, and that's what prompted the actions that occurred in Virginia?
No, again, they'll be in a better position to speak about the actual crime scene and the events that took place in Virginia.
But bottom line is you stand behind the department's response to this incident.
Yes.
And again, you said, sir, that it wasn't until 5:30 that you realized that the child was missing.
So just if I could go over the timeline real quick of what we do know is that she called police at approximately, the fire was at 3:30. She called the police at about 4:30 to report that the child is overdue. And at that time, she decided instead of waiting for the police, she was going to respond to the apartment complex, because in the meantime, she received a call that there was a fire in her unit. So when she responds there about 5:30, a quarter to 6, she meets arson detectives who interview her and determine at that point that there needs to be more investigation into trying locating the child, and they contact the 6 squad detectives. So it's almost 6 o'clock, about a quarter to 6 o'clock by the time the detectives start the missing person investigation. So the time frame is a lot tighter than I think you originally thought.
But I think that's the question, is the release that went out to the media was after midnight. So that's 6 hours after. Why so long? The guy allegedly set fire. I think the point is the guy allegedly set fire to his apartment. The kid was missing. He was supposed to be returned according to visitation. Why not send out anything earlier? That's 6 hours.
So we were gathering the facts of the case. We were reaching out to our law enforcement partners, and then the determination was made to reach out to the media.
Do you have any other options if state police choose not to issue an Amber Alert? Can you?
So again, NCIC is the protocol as well as Ebola, and we did both of those actions. NCIC, again, is nationwide and is something that all our partners in law enforcement have access to.
Do civilians see anything from NCIC? We see on the informed signs when Amber Alerts go out.
Correct.
So that anybody else knows. Does that
Right.
also work with the NCIC?
NCIC is limited to law enforcement.
Last question. Chief, in those conversations with the ex-wife, did she proceed to tell the officers there that her child might be in danger? Was there any indication that she was fearing that she...
So you have to take the totality of the circumstances. We have the fact that there was a fire at the apartment, the fact that he's overdue, the fact that that potentially she believed there was a gun there that we believe is missing. The totality of the circumstances, we immediately initiated a missing person investigation. We notified other authorities before we even know what's going on. Within an hour or two of that, we find out that the car crossed over into Jersey. We notified Jersey police. We notified Pennsylvania State Police. We attempt to put out the Amber Alert. We're in contact with Jersey police throughout the night. So we took it very seriously. Although there was no threat made, the totality of the circumstances indicated that, hey, this could be serious. You know, he could have turned up at a hotel room and then drove back today, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But we took it serious from the minute we found out about the child not being returned to this morning.
The couple wasn't married, I'm told, is that true?
We know they weren't living together.